Hey guys, um, sometimes you should take your own advice, and I didn't take my own advice. Um, well, I guess in a way I didn't take my own advice. So I got a major problem now with this Sprinter. I made a major mistake, and I got to figure out how to fix it. So anyhow, if you watched my last video, I showed you guys how to check this thing for the preliminary signs or early signs of Black Death, right? You put water on the top of the motor and you look at the injectors, and if they're bubbling, then that means compression's leaking by, right? Right. So after I made that video, I went in here and I on number, try to get in where you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. So on remember number 2 injector and number 4 injector was leaking. So on number 2 injector, I tried tightening up that bolt a little bit, and it didn't make any difference really at all. So I knew I was going to have to pull that injector out and put a new seal in it, a new copper seal. Number 4 injector, it was just bubbling a little bit, right? Well, I decided to tighten that one up a little bit, and my regular ratchet wouldn't work. So I went and got a longer ratchet and put it on there to tighten it up. And guess what I did? Snap the bolt off inside the head. So now I've got a bolt down inside the head that I can't get to. I don't know how I'm going to get it out of there, because if you remember right, it made threads as I was screwing it in, so it's stuck in that head. It ain't coming out. So now what do I do? Okay, I'll put you back here so I can talk. So here's what I've come up with. And I'm not sure if this is going to work or not, but this is what I'm going to try to do, okay? So I figured out that the hole that bolt goes down into is about a 1/4 of an inch hole. It might be a little bigger than a 1/4 inch. It might be a little smaller. I don't know, because I haven't gotten in there and tried to see. So I got to thinking, and well, wait a minute. Let me show you. I don't know if I can show you this picture or not. Let me see if I can find this picture. Hold on. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to try to get this where you guys can see it. Hopefully you can. So if you look, dadgummit, I got all these reflections. If you look at this picture here, that's what the cylinder head looks like, right? And each one of these little stand-ups is the injector goes in a big hole, the bolt goes in a little hole. It's a pretty tall piece of aluminum, right? See that? It's a pretty tall piece of aluminum. So what's stopping a guy from threading this section up here, a bigger size, and putting a bolt in there to hold down the injector? Now, I don't know if that'll work or not, but you're faced with another dilemma, because, hold on a second here. Okay. I'm faced with another dilemma, because obviously this standoff, or this, I shouldn't stand off, this hold down is made for a 6mm bolt, an M6 bolt. So if I go for a bigger bolt, like for instance, I thought, well, maybe I could put a 3/8 bolt on there. But the problem that you're running into is, I'll show you this. The problem you're running into with all this is you got this hole down here, right? Like that. Well, you got to get a bolt in there. That's too small. And then the bolt is actually hitting the injector, so you can't get the bolt squared up. that's a 3/8 bolt. A 5/16 bolt, well, actually that's a 3/8 bolt. So I thought, well, maybe I could use a header bolt. And I might be able to get away with that, maybe. I just got to get it down in there first. But, I mean, I don't have a lot of holding power on the bottom of that either, but that is a 3/8 bolt, so I could tighten that down to probably 15 or 20 foot-pounds of torque, and it would hold, because this injector, the M6 bolts take like a inch-pound torque spec, not a foot-pound torque spec. But then I thought, well, what if I get a 5/16 bolt, and let's see, is that open? Where's that at? Okay. What if I get a 5/16 bolt, and I get a longer one, and I put it down the hole? Will it work? So let's look at that. Where's my injector? So we take our injector and we put a 5/16 bolt, and this one here is quite a bit longer. You can see I think this is 5/16 by 1.5 inches. It's 5/16 by a 1.5 inch bolt. So if I put that down in there, I got a good inch to a little more than an inch actually of hold down possibility there to be able to hold this thing down. I think it sits a little bit like that. So, oh no, it sits like that. So I got about an inch of threads going into the head, right? And if I look at here, once I get it dropped down to this level, it'll clear the injector. I just got to be able to get an Allen wrench on it. And again, now this, I got this from Tractor Supply, and it's a Hillman. I'll hold that up where you guys can see it. It's a Hillman cap screw, 5/16 18 by 1.5. And there's the SKU number if you guys need that, or the part number, HH880323. That's the part number. And I looked online, and these are grade 8 bolts. So a grade 8 bolt can stand, a grade 8 bolt that's 5/16 can withstand a 25 foot-pounds of torque. That's quite a bit. That's way more than what this thing would have with the M6 bolt. And I'm thinking, you know, I hate stretch to yield bolts. And here's the reason I hate them, is because for over 100 years before they ever came up with this stupid idea of stretch to torque bolts, they made a billion engines that had just regular old bolts in them. And when you want to rebuild an engine, you just take it apart, pull the head bolts off, clean everything up, put it all back together, put the head bolts in and tighten them up, torque them down, you're good. You know why they made torque to yield bolts? They made torque to yield bolts so, number one, they would be weak and they would probably break, and then you'd have problems. Number two, if they didn't break and you had to tear the engine apart, you'd have to buy another set of bolts, hopefully from the dealer, and pay them even more money. The only reason torque to yield bolts were ever invented was so that people could make more money. And it's just ridiculous. I don't like it at all. But that's why they were made. So I got a major problem with it. And the other thing you got to think about, why do the seals go bad on these and they leak? Well, if you think about it, if you've got a torque to yield bolt, if you torque that thing down and then you turn it 90 degrees and then another 90 degrees like you're supposed to, and you torque it down, and it's sitting there under tension, and it's already stretched, what do you think is going to happen over time to that bolt that's under tension that's already stretched? What do you think is going to happen to it? It's going to slowly, especially a head bolt may not, because it's big enough, or it may not do it very much, but a little tiny M6 bolt, you do that to it, it's going to keep stretching, and it's going to get weak, and then your compression is going to start leaking by your gasket, and it's going to start blowing out, and that's why you have Black Death. But what if you could make it to where you just used a regular bolt, and it wasn't torque to yield, and it held its torque, whatever torque you put it on, it held it. You didn't have to worry about it stretching out and losing its grip on the hold down, whatever's holding down, and leaking. So that's my opinion. I think one of the reasons that these engines have Black Death is because the torque to yield wimpy tiny little M6 bolts, I mean, them things are freaking tiny. you torque them down, and then you turn them 90 degrees, and you turn them another 90 degrees, and then they're under this massive tension, and over time they just stretch a little bit more. And I mean, they got to do is stretch like a couple thousandths. I'd be willing to bet if you torqued a set of bolts down the way you're supposed to, you put a whole full set of injectors and torqued them all down, you went out and drove the vehicle 1,000 miles and came back, I'll bet you could move those bolts again. I'll bet you could turn them more, because they've lost some of their tension from the heating and cooling cycles of the engine, because they're weak bolts to start with. They're made to stretch, and I'm pretty sure you'd be able to move them again, and they would not hold the same torque value as they did when you started. And I personally think that's one reason why these engines have a problem with Black Death. And I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. But anyhow, back to what I was saying. So I got these 5/16 bolts, and they fit in the hole, but just barely fit in the hole. So I thought, well, what if I get a thread repair kit, right? What if I get a thread repair kit, and hold on a second. I think I'm talking. Okay, guys, sorry. Anyhow, so I thought, well, what if you take a helicoil, and I know they have those time taps or time inserts, time certs, whatever you call them. Them things are like $100. They're ridiculous. What if you were to take one of these and get a big enough size that you could tap into that boss on the head where that bolt goes into, tap that instead of way down on that freaking bottom of that head, and put these in there, and then put a shorter bolt in there. And I know I've heard people say don't use these because they have short threads. Well, you know what? What's stopping you from stacking them on top of each other? What's stopping you from putting two of these in a hole and making double the threads? I don't know why you can't. So I got this at AutoZone. It's a kit. They did not have the spare ones of these, but if you go to Ace Hardware, they've got them. And I actually got a good deal on these. They charge me, I want to make sure you guys can see this, they charge me $1.45 each for these. And they're long enough that you could put two of them, damn it, you could put two of them in a hole, and they would, I'm trying to get this tool out of here, come on, there you go, come on. Put two of them in a hole, and you'd have twice the threads as one. So, that's not really that big a deal to do. Just put two of them in there. Put one in, break the tang off, screw another one in down until it touches, and break the tang off it, and you'd have twice the threads. So I don't know why you can't do that. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but that's what I'm going to try to do. So anyhow, let's get started on that. I got to use the drill first. The drill bit first. What do I do with the drill bit? I don't know. I dropped it somewhere. No. Oh, no. No. I got to go get a drill bit. Oh, no. I take that back. On this hole here, I know what I figured out. On this hole here, I think this tap will go in there without even using a drill bit. And I'm going to try it and see. But first I got to go get a socket to put on it. And then we're going to put it in there. I've got you guys in here where you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. I've got a towel stuffed down into the injector hole. All my other injectors I installed them in. The second one, I put a new washer on it, but I ordered the new garbagey freaking Mercedes bolts to hold it down with, because I don't want to do this to all these right now, but I'm probably going to do it to them later. But all I got to worry about at this point is the fourth one. So I got to go get a socket to fit the head of this. And then I'm going to attempt to put threads in that bolt hole with this 5/16. Of course, this is 5/16. This is for a 5/16 18 thread insert. So this this tap here is actually bigger than 5/16 because when you're done, you've got a 5/16 thread. So this is actually going to make a bigger thread hole than the 5/16 would. So I got to try to get it down in there. I may have to take a drill and drill that out if I can't get this tap to go in there. But I want to try just with the tap by itself first. I got to go get some lubricant too. So let me go get all that and I'll come right back. All right, guys, hold on. Okay, guys, I'm back. Got my tap. I got a 9/32 12-point socket, and it fits in there really well. So I'm going to try that. I decided I'm not going to use grease on this, and the reason I'm not is because grease will help the shaving stick to this, but it'll also make the shaving stick inside the hole, and I can take a blowgun when I'm done and blow the hole out, so I don't need them to stick to this necessarily. So I'm going to try this. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I'm going to try it and see if I can thread this thing into that hole and see if we can get some threads on that. I don't know if we can or not. Let's try it. It's not going. I'm putting a lot of pressure on it. Yeah, it's going. I'm going to thread it down as far as it'll go, and then we'll take a scope and we'll look at it and see what it looks like. Now, the one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to break a tap off. If you break a tap off, you're in trouble. So I'm going to back it back out, ease it out. It doesn't have any shavings on it. They're all falling down to the bottom, which is fine. I don't care. I can blow them out with a blowgun. Let me back this thing off so you guys can see. There we go. All right. So I went down in there once till I started feeling a little bit of friction, and then I stopped. Now I'm going down in there again. This is actually cutting threads pretty easily. I mean, it's aluminum. And you saw how thick that boss is in the picture. I mean, you could probably put a half inch hole in this thing and you'd still have plenty of meat left on that boss. But this is only a 5/16 thread. So I don't know if it's going to work or not, but it's worth a shot. If this works, it might be a solution to eliminate black death in your Sprinter if you got it one. Because if I can get this to work, once I tighten this bolt down and I torque it in place, it's not going to stretch. It's not going to change its torque value because it's not stretching. It's going to stay where it's at, and it's going to hold that washer tight against the head the whole time. So this cylinder, in theory, should never leak again. I don't know if that's true or not, but we'll find out. It's continuing to cut threads on down. It's getting pretty snug, but I'm able to turn it pretty easily. So this is a 1/4 inch ratchet. Doesn't have a lot of torque value to it. Just keep screwing it in there. I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna back it all the way out, and then we'll take a look at it and see what it looks like. Okay, so it did go down in there. It went down in there. It's down in there now to this point, past the threads. So I'm down in there quite a ways. So let's get our scope and we'll look at it and see what we can see. I'm not sure how well I can show this to you because the sun's shining. And this screen isn't the greatest on the scope. Okay. See if I can get this thing positioned. Oh, wow. All right, let me get you off the stand and show you this. So you guys, I'm not sure how well you can see that, but let me get it over the hole. Ah, come on. There you go. Dang it. Can you guys see that? There's too much glare in here. There you go. See that? See the threads? You can, yeah. Oh, come on. There you go. See that? You can see the threads, but I can also see a whole bunch of aluminum down in the bottom of the hole. So yeah, it's got a nice thread pattern in there, it looks like to me. All right, I'm gonna go get, what I want to do now, I'm gonna go get some Q-tips and stick them down in that hole and try to pull that aluminum out of there. I'll be right back. Okay, so I got a bunch of Q-tips, and the reason I didn't put grease in that is because I figured I can, them aluminum chips, they're sharp, they got sharp edges, they can grab this Q-tip, but also I got a blowgun, I can blow down in there and blow out whatever chips I can't get out of there. So I'm gonna shove this down in there first. Yep, see that? There's that. So I'm getting chips out of there. I'm gonna try to put them off to the side here. I'm not going very far down in there before I'm grabbing these chips. But they're definitely coming out. This may take a while, I don't know. Oh, there you go. See that? So yeah, it's making good threads. Tell you what I'll do when I'm done here, I'll get a light and we'll put it down here, and I'll get my phone and move it over there so you guys can see what's going on there. See how the threads look. And I can just keep doing this until I get all this aluminum stuff out of there. It's too bad it's not steel, because you could get it with a magnet, but if it was steel I wouldn't be cutting threads this easily either, so I'm glad it's not steel in that aspect. If I twist it. Oh, yeah, there you go. If you twist the Q-tip, it gives you a lot more chunks of aluminum. All right. Now I'm going to look in there with my scope and see what I can see. Yeah, I can still see still see chunks of aluminum in there. I'm going to get my blowgun and blow it out. So this is what I've got out of there so far. I've gotten those chunks there out of there already. That's quite a bit. Let me go hook up my blowgun. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now let me get my blowgun. We'll shove it down in there. Try to blow out those metal chips. So we can get all them cleaned out of there. You guys probably saw them flying everywhere. Quite a few of them came out. Okay, now let's get a light and let's get down in here and look at our threads and see what we got. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, there we go. Well, yeah, I got threads. Trying to see if I can see my broken off bolt, but I can't. But anyhow, we got threads in there. Yeah, see that? So now that I've blown the chips out, I'm going to try to, I don't know if I can go any further or not. It's hard to tell. By the time I get the phone over there, the light's in the way. And by the time I move the light, get the phone where it needs to be, the light's gone. So but yeah, we got threads in there all the way down. You can see it. Okay, let me see if I can get this tap to go in any further. I don't know if I can or not, but let's try. I don't want to force. All right, sorry, my video stopped for some reason. Who knows why? I don't know if my phone's overheating or not. That might be the problem. All right, let's put this tap down in there. And it does screw in pretty easily. I'm not even using the ratchet to screw it in with. All right. I can't tell for sure how far it's in there, but it's in there a ways. That's really pretty tight there. It feels like it's cutting threads, but man, I don't want to break this tap off. And looking at it, let me look at it with my light here. So the threads from the tap are not quite all the way in the hole. Well, seems like every time I back it out a little bit, it goes a little further. Now the threads are pretty much all the way in the hole. All right, that's as far as I'm going to go. I don't want to go any further. Making me too nervous. Last thing I want to do is break this daggum tap off in this freaking hole, because then I'd be pulling the head off, like I said. And that would be a bad deal for me. All right. Now I got to blow it out again because it's got more shavings down in there. So let's do that. And I stuffed a towel down in the, this is a towel stuffed into the injector hole, by the way. Of course, I didn't leave it open. That'd be a very big mistake to do that. Obviously, I don't want to do that. All right, I got to go get this has got an Allen head on it, and set collar. I got to go get an Allen wrench to set that so I can put my threads in there. So hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So this little set screw on here is a 1.5 millimeter. All right, hold on. Let me go turn off my air compressor. Okay, now, so we want to put our insert in there, and then I guess set this to where it's, oh my God. Huh. Well, that doesn't do anything. Oh, yeah, I guess it kind of does. No, not really. Wow, this set screw doesn't even work. All right. Well, I guess we won't use it. So we're just going to put that on there like that. And screw it down in there. Now, before I do that, where's my tap? So as I said before, the tap was down in the hole, focus, almost all the way to the end of the threads. I think there was like one thread left out of the hole. So if we were to take this, there's my hold down. Oh, there it is. If we were to take this hold down and put this 1.5 inch bolt kind of like that, and then put that up there against it, you can see that basically I'm going to be threaded all the way down the bolt. It's going to have threads. So the entire bolt's going to be threaded into that hole. So I should be, and also, let's do this real quick. If I take this and I put it up against there like that, it goes to about right there. So if I put two of these inserts in there and thread them all the way down, then I should be able to put that bolt in theory. Okay, so let's put this one in. Man, I sure hope this works, because if it doesn't, I'm in trouble. So I'm screwing this one in there. It's pretty snug, I can tell you that much. Alright. Before I get it too far in there, I want to put this bolt in there and see how this bolt feels. Oh yeah, that bolt feels great. It threads right in there, no problem. Cool. Alright, let's continue threading this. Now I'm going to thread this down as far as it'll go to the bottom of the hole, to where the threads stop. That's about as far as, it squeezed it. It went down so far it squeezed the end of it, and I had a hard time getting that off. Now let's take our light and look at it. See if we can see it. Okay. All right. Zoom you guys in a little bit here. Okay, let's look at it. See what we can see. Where's it at? There we go. And now, dang it. Oh yeah, there you can see it. See it down in there? I'm trying to get it to where this thing here's, dadgummit. This wire harness is in my way. I'm trying to get that. I can get this thing to focus. Right there. There you go. See that down in there? You can see the thread insert down in there, and I got plenty of room above it to put another one, put a second one. So let's do that. What the heck? Oh, I guess I zoomed into 10 or something, I don't know. Okay. All right, now let's take, and we're going to take another thread insert. And I don't even really need to break the tang off that first one because it's way down the bottom of the hole. Hold on, I'm getting a phone call. Okay, sorry, I'm back. All right, now let's see if we can get another insert to go in here. Hopefully it'll go all the way down and touch the other one before it, and be below the surface of the head. I need it to be actually be below the surface of the valve cover. Uh-oh. Well, it's not below the surface of the valve cover. But that's as far as I can get it to go. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see if I can put this bolt in there. Try that first, just the bolt by itself. Oh yeah, it's hitting the, I forgot it's hitting the tang. Duh. I gotta go get a punch to break that tang off. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I got a hammer and a little punch here. The other thing about this is this tang is going to drop down the bottom of that hole, and I don't know how I'd get it out of there because it's down in the bottom of the hole. Let me use my scope and look and see where it, see if I can see where it went. Dang it. Yeah, I can see it. It's hung up on the threads part way down the hole. I'm going to get a little screwdriver and a magnet, see if I can get it out of there. Hold on. Okay, I found this little magnet. I'm going to try it first because it's a magnet. I don't know if it'll even fit down in there. No, it will not. That sucks. Okay. So, for those of you that may not know, if you take a screwdriver and a magnet, and just rub the magnet on there like that, it'll magnetize. It'll magnetize your screwdriver. See that? So now let's try to get that tang out. It may be jammed in there. I may not be able to get it out. I don't know. It's not coming out. Dang it. Well, I think I got it to drop further. Ooh, wait a minute. Oh, ah! Ta-da! Got it. Okay, so that tang's broken off. The bottom tang is down on the bottom. I don't care about it. Not worried about it at all. Now let's take our screw and see how far it'll screw down in this hole. And I'm just screwing it by hand to start with, just to see if it'll go. It's a little bit tight right there. Man. Where's my flashlight? I'm still screwing it by hand. That's about as far as it's going to go. Now I can't get it out because I can't get a grip on it. And I should have grabbed a socket while I was in there that's the right size, and I didn't do that. Or an Allen wrench. So, let me go do that. I'll be back. Alright, I'm back again. I got a Allen wrench and a socket. It's 1/4 inch, by the way, for a 5/16 bolt. Now let me put this on here and see if I can turn this anymore. I should be able to. Wow, it's really tight. But let's see how far down we are. I might be all the way down too. Oh yeah, I'm at the bottom of the hole. I wish I had a way to mark that. I don't really have a way to mark it. Let me see something here. All right, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to back it off. Hopefully it won't pull the threads out with the bolt. Get the threads to stay in there. Alright. Oh yeah, you can see I actually bottomed the bolt out. I may have to grind this bolt off a little bit to get it going all the way, but I need to put, so now the next thing I got to do is I got to drill this out to a 1/4 inch. So once I do that, there's no going back. Okay, so I'm definitely going to have to do that because it won't fit. So let me go drill this out. I don't really think you guys want to watch me drill a hole. So let me go drill this out and I'll be right back in a little while. All right, hold on. All right, I just figured I'd bring you in here with me to do this. So you guys kind of have an idea what it takes. I'm not sure how hard a steel this is. I don't know if it's like really hard steel or not. If it is, I'm in trouble. But I don't think it is because it's very thick. I mean, it's like 3/4 of an inch thick, which gives it a lot of strength without having to make it high strength. So I'm going to clamp it in my vise, and I need it to be a 5/16. I'm going to start out really slow and just do a little bit at a time to see how it does. The first bit I'm going to use is a 9/32, and then a 19/64, and then a 5/16. So 19/64 is a 1/64 of an inch under 5/16. And this 9/32 is a 1/32 of an inch under. You want to get a really good quality bits to do this with. Okay, and you also want to have some kind of lubricant. You can use engine oil, you can use this, just whatever you got. Just put some on the bit so it helps lubricate it so it cuts better. You can use cutting oil. Oh wow. I mean, that like went right through there easily. So this is definitely not hardened steel. There we go. That one went through really easy. Okay. So now we'll put in the 19/64. We'll do that one next. Okay. We'll lubricate that bit. And it falls right in there. keeps catching on me. Almost through. There we go, 19/64 is through. And now we got to do the 5/16. Well, you know what? Let's take this bolt, just out of curiosity, because I want it to fit as tight as possible. No, it won't go in there. Okay, I just wanted to be sure. All right. Ouch. Got a piece of metal in my thumb. Now we're going to put some more lubricant on it. Okay, now let's drill this one out. This is soft enough. I probably could have just used a 5/16 bit and just drilled it out in one drill, but I didn't know. I wasn't sure. I wanted to take my time. Dang it. I hate cordless drills. They are a waste of time. Can't get the chuck to grab the bit. It's ridiculous. Almost. There we go. All right, now let's check and make sure our bolt fits. And it does. Fits very snug, very tightly in there. Okay. All right, so that was really easy to drill out, a whole lot easier than I thought it would be. So now let's go back outside and see if we can get it to work. All right, now we're back out here. So now the next thing I want to do, I want to put this in there without the injector and see if I can screw this thing down all the way, which I do believe I'll be able to, but I'm not 100% sure. So I want to try it before I buy it, so to speak. It's gonna be close. I'm already snugging it up, and it's I guess worst case scenario, I could put a washer on top of the bolt, on top of the bolt if I had to, but yeah. Oh no. No, that's. I'll tell you what. 2 sets of threads. Two sets of threads and a bolt that's 1.5 inches long. I mean, you can see how far this bolt is going down into that head now, into that boss. I mean, and that boss is huge. I could put, if I could get a bolt to fit, I could put a 1/2 inch bolt in that if I wanted to. I don't need to, but I could. All right, and now I got to go get a new copper washer. So let me do that. Let me get a new copper washer because I don't have one out here, and then we'll see if we can torque this thing down. All right, I'll be back. All right, got a new copper washer. And you got to remember it goes a certain way. Even though this one here, it's hard to tell which way is the right way and which way is the wrong way. I'm not sure. And the trick, I don't even know how people get this down in there. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, my neighbor needed my help for a minute. Okay, so again, we've got all that thread. I'm going to try to torque this down without cutting the bolt off, even though we're kind of into the threads a little bit there. See in the bottom, you can see it's kind of grabbing. But I think that was from when I put it without this in place. So hopefully with this in place, I don't need that. But I don't know what the trick is to get these things to stay on there when you turn this thing upside down, because they never want to stay for me. I guess I could put like some grease on there or something, but I've never tried that. You know what? I got some grease. Where's my grease at? What did I do with that grease? Thought I had some grease. Hold on, let me go grab it. All right, I guess that's the trick, is grease. I put some grease on the body of the injector too, so let's try that. So you can get that to drop down in there now. Oh, I want to take my, before I do that, I want to take my blow gun and blow this thing off one more time just to make sure it's cleaned off. Before I pull that towel out of there, because I don't want any metal savings to drop down in that injector hole when I pull the towel out of there. Now we're all cleaned out. Now I can pull that towel out. And before I even do that, let's see if I can find a place to set this thing down. Let's take one more look at it just real quick. Get my light in there so you guys can see what we're looking at. Okay. Now, there you go. Now see, you can see the threads. Oh, come on. There we go. Look at that. See how nice and threaded that is? Look at that. That looks really good. The only problem is I can see that the threads are up into the valve cover. So I got a feeling when I go to pull the valve cover off this thing, I may have a little bit of a problem, but I'm sure I'll be able to get it off one way or the other. I don't think I have to pull it off for a while because it ain't leaking. So, but there you go. You see you got threads, really nice threads all the way down. Looks to me like all the way to the bottom of the hole, as far as I can tell. Down there a long ways. So I got two thread inserts in there, stacked on top of each other. And the bolt screws all the way in, so they're working. Okay. Now, we're going to take this injector. It's greased up. Drop it down in there. Get our bolt going. The problem I'm going to have here is I'm going to have to try to get a Allen socket on this bolt, this Allen bolt. I'm not sure how easy that's going to be to do or how hard it's going to be to do. I don't know. This Allen wrench goes right on it pretty easily, but the socket's a lot wider than this is. And the only thing I can do is try to get it in there. You know, actually, depending on where this bolt ends up, I can take my wrench here. This wrench is pretty long, so I'm going to get a pretty good torque with it. And I can always add a socket to it if I had to. But I just have to tighten it up as tight as I can get it, and then start it up and see how it sounds. Come on. Dang it. Come on. Ah. Good night. I don't know how tight I want to go with it. That is really tight. I could go a little more if I need to, but at this point, and I haven't even torqued it, so I just tightened it up with an Allen wrench. But at this point, I almost want to just start it up and see what happens. See if it holds. I got to have the fuel line off to be able to use that Allen wrench like I just did. So if it doesn't work, then I have to take the fuel line back off to tighten it up more. I don't know. Let me try something. Let me see if I can get a socket on that. Oh, wow. Yeah, I can. Okay. I can get a socket on it. All right, well. In that case, I don't have to take the fuel line off. This thing, I'm gonna have a little bit of a problem starting when I first try to start it because all these lines have got air in them now. All right, let me do something here. Let me take this torque wrench, and I'm on 20 pounds now. I'm gonna go to 25, and I'm just curious how close I am to 25 foot-pounds with this. Whoops. It's not clicking. All right, let me back it off. I don't want to break this thing. Let's go 20 foot-pounds. There we go. All right, that's 20 foot-pounds on that bolt right there. That's pretty good. Okay. And then I gotta hook this back up. I don't want to go in for some reason. Let me get... I don't have any lubricant, but I can use a little bit of brake clean. Maybe it is in, I don't know. All right, let me go get my can of lubricant. Hold on. All right, I sprayed lubricant on all these. Now they should go in there a lot easier. Why don't these? Some of these don't want to go in. I don't know why. very good shape. Shoot. That's not good. I may have some leaks here. I don't understand why those won't go in. They won't. Well, I pulled them out and now they won't go back. I don't know why. They should just push in there. Dang it. All right, I got a new one of those. I'll just go get it, I guess. Put it on there. Okay guys, here we are an hour later, and I put the new one on there that I have, and it wouldn't go on number 3 and number 5 injectors. And I fought it and fought it and fought it, and I finally ended up getting this little pick. Let me back this thing out. Finally ended up getting this little pick and sticking it down in there, and believe it or not, I pulled out of both of them tops of them injectors. I pulled out these little one of these O-rings, and then this little tiny. It's kind of an O-ring, but it's really. I mean, I don't even know how I can show it to you. It's so tiny, but see, it's got a hole in it too. You can see it. See the hole there? So it's got this O-ring, and then underneath that was one of these, and I dropped one of them. But that's what that looks like. A little tiny, whatever that is. I don't know. But then now they went in there. So. Apparently, I don't even know how they got them that return hose back into these injectors with these in the way, because it wouldn't go for me unless you just beat them in there with a hammer, I guess. And of course, that would have smashed these O-rings down, and it probably wasn't returning fuel the way it should. So I don't know. But anyhow, I got it back together now. So now comes the test to see, number one, if it'll start. Which I don't know why it wouldn't, but it's going to take a minute because it's got to get fuel to the fuel injectors. And number two, if it doesn't leak. So the first thing is to get it to start. So let's do that first. We're backed out all the way, right? Yeah. All right. I don't know how long it's going to take to start. I may have to crank for a minute or so, but we'll see what happens here. May have to give it a shot of something to make it help it start. I don't know. We'll see. All right, here we go. Fire in the hole. is number 4 that's leaking. Haven't got that bolt tightened up. I'm going to shut it off. So that one that I just put the threads in is not holding. But something went flying here, and I don't know what it was. I didn't see where it went. Went back there and landed on the ground, I guess. I don't know what it was. All right. Okay. Well, I may have to take that bolt out and cut it off. It may be too long. Dang. Trying to get it to go to 25 foot-pounds. There it goes. All right. If that don't do it, then I'll have to pull the bolt out and cut it off because it's too long, I guess. All right, let's start it up one more time, see what happens. Slowed it down, it's still there, but not as bad. Well, I got it to almost stop, but it's still leaking just a little bit. I think I'm going to have to pull that bolt out. And it's a little bit too long, I guess. I can't quite get it tightened down enough, I guess. I don't know. Wow, it's coming out. Now it's coming out hard. Oh my God. There it is. Yeah, I think it probably was bottoming out. So we'll pull it out of there. It's coming out harder than it went in, that's for sure. So it must have been bottoming out, I guess. I don't know. That's not good. Damage the threads. Come on. It almost stopped the leak. It's not quite. Come on, come on, come on. Well, I don't know. It's messed up. I might have messed up the threads on it. Dang it. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Too short. All right. I'm going to take a new bolt and thread it down there and see how it feels. Hopefully, well, I didn't want it to do that. Hopefully it'll be okay. I don't know. We'll see. Wow. This is just such a pain in the butt. Well, the new bolt's threading down in there pretty easily. All right. Well, I'm going to go cut about 2 threads off this thing. I'll be back. Okay, so I've ground. You can see I've ground a couple threads off of that. See that? I ground that off, so I got, it's a little bit shorter, maybe a 1/4 of an inch or a little less than a 1/4 of an inch. All right, now I'm going to thread this new bolt in there, and I don't know, I hope I get it tightened up enough to, that looks like it doesn't want to go. My ratchet. Oh, that's right there. Okay. It's going in there real easy. It's not giving me a fight like the one did coming out, so hopefully it's okay. It's tightening up. All right. Now let's see if we can get it to go to 20 foot-pounds again. I don't know if I can or not. I hope I didn't bugger up the threads because the bolt was too long. I don't know. This is all just trial and error. Come on, baby. Come on. There's 20 foot-pounds. I got it to go back to 20. Now let's start it up and see if it leaks or not like it did before when it was at 20. I don't know if it will or not. Let's see. I don't know if I can get it to go to 25 or not. I'll have to try. I don't know. That's pushing it. See what happens. I strip this one out, I'm done. Come on. Come on. Oh, come on. All right. Oh, that's actually 26 foot-pounds. Now let's see if it holds. This is not good. I don't know how tight it's got to be. I mean, this is way tighter than it should have been with the little tiny M6 bolt. Come on. Dang it, it clicked once. Oh. I'm afraid I'm going to break it, man. I'm not afraid of breaking a bolt. It's a grade 8, but that's almost 30 foot-pounds of torque there. I'm going to sit and let it warm up and see if I can get it to stop once it warms up. I'll be back. Guess what, guys? I can't believe it. I think I got it fixed. Let's check it out and see what I did. Wow. So as you can see, no more leaks. Nice and quiet. Sounds good. Okay, hold on. Okay, I had to turn my air compressor off. So, let's back up here. All right. So I was fighting this thing tooth and nail. I even torqued that bolt down, and I was terrified to do it. I torqued it down to 30 foot-pounds of torque. I don't know what 30 foot-pounds equals in inch-pounds, but it's a lot of torque. Way more than the factory bolts probably need. But I torqued it down to 30 foot-pounds, and it held. It still leaked. So I took it apart. I put a different copper washer in it, and I want to show you this. I don't know why it's this way, but I'll show it to you. This is kind of weird. And I got these copper washers that I got off eBay, and I couldn't find them. I didn't know where they went. So what I did is I went into the house and I swiped a copper washer off of those cheap Chinese injectors that they claim are Bosch, and they're not. And I want to show you this so you can see what I'm talking about. And this one here is kind of dirty. It's hard to see. But if you look, it's almost dark. You can tell I've been working at this for a while. If you look at these two washers, where's my camera? Oh, it's over here. Okay. So if you look at these two washers, you can see one's a lot thicker than the other one. This is the one that I got off eBay. These are the ones that came on the Chinese injectors, okay? So I put one of these on there, and you can see the black on it. It still leaked. I pulled it off, and I was thinking about putting two of these on there, doubling up. And I thought, man, I got to figure something else out. Well, I just so happened to have, because I stole some parts off of it, I just so happened to have one of these cheap Chinese injectors out here, laying here, and I thought, you know what? Let's put that on and see what happens. So, I pulled out this injector that was in it, and I don't know how old it is, but I pulled that out. I put the cheap Chinese injector in there with the thick washer on it, torqued it down to 30 foot-pounds, and there you go, it works. I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is between that injector and that injector. I used a thick washer, one of these thick washers off the Chinese injector. On that injector, it didn't work. I even tried one of these on there. It didn't work. I thought about doubling that up, and then I thought, well, let's just put the new one on there. You know, I tried different washers, and that didn't work, so let's just put a different injector in there. And when I did, you can see the result. It's not leaking. I haven't driven it yet. I'm going to take it out and drive it, and hopefully it'll hold, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll take it for a drive tomorrow, but it's, as you can see, it's almost dark, and I'm not going to be able to show you guys much anything else because it's getting dark. So, but I just wanted to let you know that it did hold, so that threaded trick works. I guess maybe, I don't know. I don't know why one injector worked and another injector didn't. It doesn't make sense to me. All I know is it worked, and I'm happy with it. I got to drive this thing on a trip here pretty quick, about 2,000 miles. So right now it's not leaking, not blowing, it doesn't have blow-by going by the injector, doesn't have black death. Hopefully it'll hold. I'm going to take all my tools with me, and if out on the road, if I have to you know, put them threads in another hole, I'll have all the stuff to do it with. So I'm hoping I don't have to do that, but maybe I will. I don't know. But anyhow, it did work. Tomorrow when the sun comes up, we'll take it for a drive. I got to go in town anyhow tomorrow, so we'll drive it in town and see how it does. So I appreciate you guys watching. I know this is kind of a long video. It's a lot to deal with here, but, you know, I don't understand why they got that big, thick, heavy boss in that head, and they put that bolt way down in there with a little tiny, scrawny bolt when they could have, I mean, that boss is, I haven't seen a head without a valve cover on it, but that boss has got to be at least 1 inch square, maybe 1.5 inches square. It's a big chunk of aluminum. Well, no, it's bigger now because the Boss holds the injector and the bolt hold down bolt. So it's like 3 inches wide and by 1.5 inches or 2 inches wide. It's huge. I don't know why they put such a tiny bolt in there when they could have just threaded the Boss itself, put threads all the way down to the bottom of that thing, and give you a whole bunch of threads in there to put a bolt in, or even drilled it out, better yet, drilled it out and put a steel insert in there that was replaceable and used that. You know, they could have made a square hole. When they cast it, they could have had a square hole or a hexagonal hole or whatever, and dropped an insert down there that was replaceable, that you could screw the bolt into. And you could have had a 5/16 bolt. They could have had a 3/8 bolt. They could have had a lot bigger bolt in there than what they're using, that little tiny M6. But this does work. Like I said, I don't know why it worked with one injector, didn't work with the other, but it does work. The threads are holding. Like I said, I torqued it up to 30 foot-pounds. It's really tight. I was very nervous about it, but I did it 3 times, and it held all 3 times. So those threads are holding in there. Hopefully they'll stay in there. But if you got this problem, you break a bolt off down in there and you can't get it out, go get yourself a 5/16 rethreading kit. I can't remember what they're called. I know there's a name for it. I just can't think of what it is. I'm too old. But anyhow, go get you one of those 5/16 rethreading kits with the tap and the insert installer and the inserts. And you don't have to drill it. Just run a tap down through there, run it back and forth like I did. Make sure you blow all your crap out of there. Make sure you got your injector hole covered up with something so you don't get metal shavings down in your injector hole. And tap it all the way down as far as you can get it. Put 2 thread inserts in there, and you're good to go, man. So hopefully this helps somebody. I personally think that one will outlast all the other ones, because it's not a stretch to yield bolt. It's a torqued bolt that's going to stay torqued. So give me your comments below, guys. Tell me what you think. Do you think this is a good idea, bad idea? Think it's going to work? Think it's going to last? Think it's not going to last? I don't know. Give me your opinion. Let me know what you guys think. All right. Appreciate you guys watching. All right. We'll do a test drive in the morning. Talk to you guys later. Bye.